The rainy season is fast approaching, and Nigerians are bracing up for the anticipated blessings, as it would not only bring about needed relief from the hot season, but would be a source of constant water supply for domestic and farming purposes. However, Nigerians are not unaware of the well-known challenges of too much rainfall or precipitation, which is termed flooding, and most times flash floods. The 2025 seasonal predictions by the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, reveals that there will be early rains of high intensity that may likely result in flash floods. Almost every year, some ministries and agencies, such as the Federal Ministry of Water Resources, the Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency, NISA, present annual flood outlook geared towards facilitating safety and decongesting communities vulnerable to floods in Nigeria. The flood outlook also serves as warning to several states and is also used as a strategic tool for effective planning. This year, 2025, the annual flood outlook by the Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency predicts that nearly all parts of the country will experience flooding this year due to the anticipated amount of rainfall during the rainy season. Also from the 2025 annual flood outlook, 1,249 communities in 176 local government areas across 30 states and the FCT are on high risk. The high flood risk states are Abia, Adamawa, Akwa Ibom, Anambra, Bauchi, Cross River, Delta, Ebonyi, Edo, Gombe, Imo, Jigawa, Kebbi, Kogi, Kwara, Lagos, Nasarawa, Niger, Ogun, Ondo, Osun, Oyo, Rivers, Sokoto, Taraba, Yobe, Zamfara, and the Federal Capital Territory FCT. The coastal and riverine flooding would be experienced in some parts of South-South geopolitical zone of the country due to a rise in sea level. And among these states are Bayelsa, Cross River, Delta, Rivers, Akwa Ibom, and Edo. What are the relevant agencies doing to ensure that the states predicted to be flooded this year put appropriate measures in place to minimize the negative impacts of the floods? These and more will be a focus on Nigeria Today. Thanks for joining us. I'm Rikaria Clinton. With me in the studio to expand the discuss is Femi Bejide, the Director of Operational Hydrology, Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency, NISA. It's good to have you on Nigeria Today.
Thank you for having me.
Also with us in the studio is Engineer Mohammed Abdurrahman. He's the Acting Director General, FCT Emergency Management Agency, FEMA. It's a pleasure to have you on Nigeria Today.
Thank you very much.
Now, I'll start with you, Femi. Of course, we've said quite a lot about the annual flood outlook. However, we want us to tell us some of the things that we've not mentioned that you think we should know about.
Yeah, the annual flood outlook is a yearly flood prediction by the Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency. And this year's one is the 13th edition of and also it's also our 15-year anniversary of the establishment of NISA. So the Director General Umar Ibrahim Mohammed have thought it wise as part of our celebration that NISA should take a step further in its annual flood prediction. So among those things, this year our predictions, number one has become seasonal. That is, it has been broken into some season within the year. And number two also is we have gone beyond the local level, local government into communities. That is impact-based forecast. To be able to forecast not that this local government will be flooded, no, not only that. Now this particular area, this particular community.
Which is a good thing because
yes.
in the previous year we didn't have the
yes.
communities. We
even
had
this particular word
yes.
will be flooded.
Okay,
right.
Even up to the words?
Word, yeah,
yes.
word level. Then hospitals also, roads, schools, all these critical infrastructures, we have been able to put it in our forecast this year. and they are also contained. And we always have only one before the annual flood outlook, but now we have 3 presentations. One, the major one, this is the flood forecast. That is to see the flooding scenario for the year. Then we have now the second one now going further, flood risk communications. How do we communicate this with all the communities and even that we are affected? And finally, we have also the mitigation. What is required of the communities and of the affected area, what is required for them to do. So this has become an holistic, approach by NISA. Is one of our innovations now that we started doing now. And apart from that also, we are also going to start maybe in a few months' time also annual drought outlook. It will be the maiden edition this year, so that we look at it also vis-a-vis. Now we have been predicting flood for the past 13 years. Now we can also begin to look at the drought aspect of it also, because drought is even a silent killer, even dangerous than the flood. And so we look at that also. So these are the innovations and in this new edition, this year's edition of our annual flood outlook.
Thank you very much, Mr. Femi. Now, Engineer Mohammed, of course, NISA has done quite a lot of, work in trying to tell us what's is likely to happen within this year, during the rainy season. Now, what does this mean to you, as an agency?
First of all, let me say 3 bosa to NISA. Bosa, bosa, bosa.
Thank you.
NISA have done tremendous very well this year. We have received the document that we have not received before. Before, we can only talk of state flooding and local government flooding. You don't even know the area that we flood. You are just guessing. But this year, NISA went ahead to point out up to the community, up to the world, that this is what will happen. So, what do you expect again? It's for Nigeria to key into NISA. People like us, NEMA especially, to key into NISA to make sure that they popularize this document. I keep on saying that both NIMET and NISA, they are God-sent agency to Nigeria. But Nigeria have not known the importance. Look at what they did today. The SEMAs, that's state emergency that were there, they are no more than 5. So, and all the SEMAs supposed to be there because they are the one who will carry this message to the people at the grassroots. They are the one who will tell them what to do, what not to do, and how do you adapt the flood. They are the one to do it. I don't know. Maybe it's because of fun, I don't know. But the little you can know, I so much, I don't know how to describe them for this year. Because they make our work very easy. I know now I don't need to concentrate on 6 local government in FCT. I know where to concentrate on. The flash flood that used to happen, I'm already gathering a stakeholder meeting that I will tell them, do this, environmental, go down and visit all your gutters. So these are the things. So we thank God for them, for giving us these informations and begging Nigerians. We should not carry problem on somebody. Problem that is not somebody's problem, we should not carry it. It's our problem now. They told you that this is what is going to happen to you, you are going to die if you do this. And if you feel you want to die, good advice, go ahead and die. I'm sorry to say.
Thank you, Engineer Abdulrahman. Now back to you, Femi. Of course, you know that the warning is only impactful when properly communicated. We're talking about communities. Now, what are the measures in place to ensure that this message gets to the rural areas? Because when you talk about communities, of course, most of them are in the rural areas. Yeah.
Yes, like I always say, this is another opportunity for those who have not heard it to hear it. When we say NISA, N-I-H-S-A, we do our work also in a NISA way, N-I-H-S-A. The N is a notation of every flood and drought-prone areas of the nation. This is one of it, the flood. The I is instrumentation and innovations, which you have seen now. We have been instrumenting all over the years, putting instruments in all the rivers to gauge it, to measure. But now we have added innovations to it. And the H is harmonious synergy. We also partner with national and international organizations. Also here now is a partner with NTA and things like that. Stakeholders critical. NIMET, NISA, and NEMA works together. NIMET did with the atmospheric. They bring the information, they give it to us, we take it and take it further and also do our own work in flood prediction. And NEMA and SEMA take it up like a religious document and go into action to do their work. So these agencies work together in harmonious synergy. The S is now where your answer comes, sensitization. We sensitized. We have 8 zonal offices across the country. We partner with NOA, National Orientation Agency, which breaks all these things down to local languages and their own medium and platform to send it across to them. We will embark now, maybe from next week now, the whole agency now, we embark on zonal, what they call geopolitical zone for campaign and sensitization all over the country. We know the communities now. We go there, partner with local government, local committees. We go there directly and give them the information, what to be done. Like he has said, we have made it easier for in the document. What to do is there. Your terrain is like this, peculiar. This is what should be done. And we are taking a step further, that even after flooding has occurred, there are some places there is no escape routes. So because of their terrain, we are intended to do such so that when it occurs, people can have access to go to an island and things like that. So these are the things that we have. It's not, this prediction now is an early, when I say early warning, early warning. And instead to be forewarned is to be forearmed.
Now back to you, Engineer Abdulrahman. Of course, we, as much as we commend NISA for doing a very good job, and of course I've asked him how can it be communicated. It's all soothing. But in spite of the information that they keep churning out as regards, flood, the annual flood outlook, since 2013, we also had the information being given out in 2022, and we saw what happened. A lot of community was submerged under, even with the warning signs and all of that. We still had these, these floods. Lives were lost, properties destroyed, and even last year we had one in Maiduguri where even hospitals were under the water. Now, what can we do more to ensure that this is not just a piece of information, but it becomes, actionable, swing into action to avert these flood from ravaging and destroying communities?
Thank you very much. The director has said it. He said they work with the NISA, the NIMET, and the NEMA. They work together. These 3 agencies must work together. Because the NEMA has SEMAs. I'm SEMA, controlling Abuja. If anything happens in Abuja, hold me responsible. Because I'm aware. I was told, go to so-so place, go to so-so place. Earlier, he said early warning. There's no early warning if something have happened. It's not early warning again. It has happened. But this one, they have told you early again warning. This is what will happen. Please, for the sake of God, move into action. I just told you now that the SEMAs, how many SEMAs were there? Go and count it. There are about 5 or 6. These are what we are saying. Some people don't even believe in what they are saying. I don't know. Some states up to now, they don't have SEMA. And how do you get this kind of information? How do you get this kind of information passed to the local communities? It's through us. In fact, the NEMA law said there should be local emergency management. I received it. I called all the local emergency managers to my table. in your area, this is what NISA and NIMET say it will happen. This is what will happen. This is the volume of the rain. The NIMET will predict. This is the volume of the rain that will happen. The NISA will predict. This is the amount of water that will flow. They tell you each area. I will say your area, go to so place. Go to Orozo. So place in Orozo, Ward 32 in Orozo. Go if you didn't attend one good thing that you know. When I came here, I came with enthusiasm. If I was sick, I was not to come here, but because of NISA, that's why I came. You understand? He just told us now that if you go, for those people who did not come for this meeting, go to their agency, go to their dashboard, point to your state, point to your local government, point to your community, and see everything is predicted. So what do we want again? We don't need. What we want now is for us to work, for them to make sure that we are serious. Hold us responsible. Call up the neighbors will call all the SEMAs together and talk to their head. That this is what NISA said will happen in your. So move in. Some things you don't need money because you don't need money. Look at them. The Director General was saying today that in every community they have somebody in every community that is giving them information that they can call. So what do you want again? Then you want to be blaming the federal government or the state government that is the Barrister Wike that caused the flood? So these are the things.
Thank you, Engineer Abdulrahman. Now back to you, Febi. Of course, Abdulrahman has touched some of the things I actually wanted to say, but I would also want you to, talk to us about this. You said 1,249 communities in 176 local governments fall within high-risk flood zones this year. And of course, we have additional 2,187 communities in 293 local government areas to face moderate flood risk. Okay. So tell us, what should these communities be doing right now?
Cute. Thank you. Like I've said, to be forewarned is to be forearmed. It's so simple. What to do is in document population 3. We put it there. And apart from that, there is a principles of local adaptation. You look at your community. Even today in the presentation, there is some community chief that we brought from Bayelsa. Intentionally. All these things are intentional to be able to let people know and those who will be involved, even up to community level, up to village head. So it's as simple. You are an authority in your local level as a chief. And we say your community will be flooded moderately or high-risk flood. Then what are you supposed to do? Call the community village heads together. Okay, let us clean this, let us clear this. Let us not put my things here, so we give passage. Flood is just excess water. And if you allow it a passageway, simple, there is nothing that will happen. Like for example, in FCT here, in Trade Mall, whether we like it or not, it will keep on being flooded every year. Why? Because it's in the flood plain. The only solution for it is that evacuate some people there, make a channelization big enough to convey the water, then that's all. That will be settled once and forever. So what we need now is that is sensitization now. All hands is on deck because flooding issue is a national security issue. And I have to tell you why it's a national security, and that's why NISA is very, very strategic and important, because waters are coming even from another country, several countries, entering Nigeria. We have to monitor the water coming and also look at the quality of the water, because we don't know what has happened in the upstream for the health of the people. Then number two, this can affect agricultural land and everything like that. How much agricultural land is destroyed? How much? How many Nigerians, I'm not talking about those lives lost, are disenfranchised because of what has happened? And when we are talking about renewed hope agenda, this is one of the major ways. That's why the presidency now is paying particular attention to the hydrological agency, because it is directly affecting food security and renewed hope. So if you're able to solve the issue of flood and drought and we are able to gain our farmland. People are able to ensure food security. Then many lives, in their hundreds of millions in Nigeria, they are happy, and farmers and everything, then the hope will be renewed. How many of this hope have been dashed over the years? This is what the Director General, Umar Ibrahim Mohammed, have in mind to say, okay, we have to start nicer now to be productive and proactive and do a community-based forecast that will help every Nigerians. And all Nigerians are involved in this. All Nigerians. All. Very soon we are going to introduce other things. Even today also, we launch a National Flood Insurance program. For post, see,
I wanted you to talk about that. Yes, I was coming to that. The National Flood Insurance.
All those
what is it about?
All these ones are not there before. It's just of the proactiveness of the Director General, Umar Ibrahim Mohammed. So all these things, we have it in mind, and all geared towards renewed hope agenda, to renew the hope of the Nigerian populace again, that Nigeria can prosper once again. So National Flood Insurance program has to do with those who will be affected, because there is no way we cannot stop flooding 100%. There is some that is unforeseen, like that of Bruno last year. We forecasted it, but not in the magnitude of what happened. And what happened, the magnitude also is due to some things had to do with the Lagdo Dam. The dam. So that is it. That's the dam breakage a little bit and things like that. So that's what contributed to that. But of course, the state government also have known now that, okay, even if it's not going to be flooded, if the drainages all have been kept and everything and clean, and there would not have been as much impact as it is. So this flood insurance, something is just for post-flooding, how that people and the farmers and the people will not have lost everything.
So everybody should key, those communities now that have been earmarked, they should, key into this flood insurance scheme to avoid any loss.
If there is no flooding, better. And if there is, it's not a case of a total loss.
Thank you very much, Femi. So let Engineer Abdulrahman come in here. Abuja is also mentioned, that the FCT really has been mentioned. Of course, he mentioned earlier on, we had the trade mall. We know what happened, during the flooding season at the trade mall. Now, talk to us. Maybe other people, like you said, that were not able to come for this meeting would, pick one or two things from what you say. So, what is the FCT doing right now to prevent what happened in trade mall, and what should people within the areas that have been, marked for, the risk areas, be doing right now to prevent the flood disaster?
Thank you very much. He has been saw a lot of things. Your flood was, your house was flooded last year. Last 2 years it was flooded. Last 3 years it was flooded. So this year, are you expecting miracle to happen, that they have not done what is supposed to be done? So the best thing, first of all, I'm talking of the people living there, when it's first of all to pack from there, so that you will not die, so that water will not carry you away. But I can assure you that the FCT management is doing a lot in trade mall. What is hindering the evacuation of trade mall is the court. When you have something in court, there's little or nothing you can do. I know Barrister Wike very well, my minister. He doesn't tolerate any nonsense. I think this year, I'm giving you my word, this year, if this doesn't happen again, he will be forced to move there. So that is the way it works. And they are talking of insurance. Today, after we left the flood outlook, we are in Nikon. The NEMA organized a sensitization on flood insurance. They talk to us on how the insurance will look like.
Thank you very much. Engineer Mohammed Abdulrahman is the Acting Director General, FCT Emergency Management Agency, Fema, thank you so much. I really wished we had more time, but this is where we have to draw the curtain. And I heard that Femi Bejide is the Director of Operational Hydrology, Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency, NISA. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for being part of the program. Don't forget, Nigeria Today airs every weekday at 7:30 p.m. on NTA News 24. You can also check out this episode and others on www.youtube.com/NTA News 24. I'm your carrier, Clinton. Goodbye.